Okay, so today we are talking about Proverbs chapter 31, the last chapter in Proverbs. And this chapter has a lot to do, and I like the part it talks about the virtuous woman, the woman that looks perfect, or the woman that is perfect, that you get to find. Okay, I'll start reading. In verse 1, it says, the words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. Verse 2, what, my son, and what, son of my womb, and what, son of my vows. Verse 3, do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroy kings. Verse 4, it is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink. Verse 5 says, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the justice of all the afflicted. Verse 6, give strong wine to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Verse 7, let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Verse 8, open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die. Verse 9, open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So the remaining verses talks about the virtuous woman, and I'll start right away. Verse 10, it says, who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Verse 11, the heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. Verse 12, she does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Verse 13, she seeks wool and flax, and willingly works with her hands. Verse 14, she is like the merchant's ships, she brings her food from afar. Verse 15, she also rises while it is yet night, and provides food for a household, and a portion for a maidservant. Verse 16, she considers a field and buys it. Her profit she plants a vineyard. That's verse 17, she gilds herself with strength, and strengthens her arms. Verse 18, she perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. Verse 19, she stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. Verse 20, she extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. Verse 21, she is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. Verse 22, she makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Verse 23, her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. Verse 24, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sachets for the merchants. Verse 25, strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. Verse 26, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. I like it. Verse 27, she watches over the way of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Verse 28, her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and she praises her. Verse 29, many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Verse 30, charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Verse 31. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Let her own works praise her in the gates. Okay, so this chapter is divided into two. The first one was an advice to Lemon about what he should do and what he shouldn't do. So his mother was telling him that he shouldn't drink, he shouldn't waste his time on women, he shouldn't waste his strength on women, he shouldn't waste his strength on things that let kings fall. Let kings fall. And some things are wine. I say when you drink wine, there's a tendency that, or there's a chance that you will say things that are wrong. You say things that are not right, and you judge not righteously. You judge based or under the influence of the wine. You won't say the right things. So Lemon's mother was telling him not to be that kind of kings, not to be that kind of person who will be intoxicated by wine. So it shouldn't be that kind of person, And it says, open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die, and open your mouth to judge rightly. His mother is telling him that anytime he opens his mouth, he should be judging righteously. And we should plead the cause of the poor and the needy. So from verse 10 down to 31 tells us about the virtuous woman or the virtuous wife. And I like how verses are. It tells us from verse 10 that who can find such a woman? Because she is far more precious than rubies. She is far more precious than anything, any metal, any money. She is precious. Who can find such a person? And reading downwards, it tells us what she does for a family. She wakes up even before it is yet. Let me read that verse. I think um, 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 she also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household. She does a lot of things for her household. She makes sure that they've eaten. She makes sure that they are clothed. She makes sure that none of them lack anything. She extends her hands to the poor. She reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. All her household is clothed with scarlet. And I like the part in verse 26. It says, when she opens her mouth, it says she opens her mouth with wisdom. It means that anytime she speaks, the words are full of wisdom. She is wise. She doesn't say things that will destroy her family. She doesn't say things that will end up destroying her relationship with others. She speaks wisdom. She speaks wisdom. And it says on her tongue is the law of kindness. And so when you are kind to someone, you give to that person. When you are kind to someone, you are willing to help that person in times of need. In times of need, she is kind. She is kind. She is kind. She is kind. It says in verse 28, her children calls her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Such a person or such a woman, such a wife, her family are blessed to have her because she doesn't make them end up into trouble. She speaks the right thing, she says the right thing all the time. All the time, not some days, all the time. All the time. And verse 30 tells us that a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. That woman fears the Lord. That kind of woman fears the Lord, and she is praised. She doesn't praise herself, but what she does make people praise her. That's the kind of woman that if you're a woman you should be. If you're a man, that's the woman you should be around with or you should marry. So there's a lot we can learn, and from this chapter, when you're a woman, this should be a chapter that you should be reading all the time. If you're a man, this is also the chapter that you should be reading. It tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. This is really the end of the book of Proverbs. We'll be talking about a lot of matters on this chapter, and as I said some time ago, we'll be talking about God and technology. Since I'm interested in technology, so I'll talk about technology as well on this channel. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.